Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Our group wants to present our discussion about phonological rules. Before that, let me introduce our member group. The first is Zahrina Izatul, Sandia Zerlina, Salma Zahratul, and Winaya Nidaan. And this is our topic want to discuss their definition, types, characteristic, and function. The first one is about definition, will be present by Sandia.
Okay, thank you, Salma. So the first one is definition of phonological rules. Phonological rules are part of language communication, whether spoken or written, and understanding what they are and what they exist can help us better understand our world. Understanding phonological rules is considered an important aspect in teaching English or working with people who have speech problems. Next. So the next is types of phonological rules. The first one is assimilation. Assimilation is a phonological process in which a sound changes to sounds like another nearby sound, which can occur both forward and backward within a word or between words. So basically, assimilation is a process whereby one sound causes an adjacent sound to be more similar to itself. For example, the prefix in, where sometimes it appears as in and others as im. The word example is put and between. The in is pronounced with an m, input or in between. Next. The next is dissimilation. Dissimilation is a phonological process in which two close sounds, similar consonant or vowels, change to become less alike. When a sound changes one of its features to become less similar to an adjacent sound, usually to make the two sounds more distinguishable. This type of rule is often seen among people speaking a language that is not their native language, where the sound contrasts may be difficult, so the rule is applied for ease of production and perception. In other words, a phonological process that changes feature values of segment to make them less similar. So basically manner dissimilation in which a stop becomes a fricative when followed by another stop. The example is the word six is pronounced six, where the s becomes.
Okay, so now it's about insertion. Insertion is kind of process a sound is added that is not present in slow pronunciation or spelling. It is like voiceless stop, often added between a nasal and voiceless fricative. Symbol is nothing becomes something. For example, is hamster and something. When we pronounce the word hamster and something at a regular speed, most of us will say and hear hamster and something with a p. Next is deletion. Deletion is the types of pronunciation process where sound are left off. The symbol is sound X becomes nothing. For example, is handbag become handbag and family become family. The final b on some words is deleted after an but remains when there is a following syllable. Example is crumble and bombard. The next is about metathesis, will be present by Rina.
Thank you, Salma. So the next one is metathesis. Metathesis is a process that reorders a sequence of segments. Metathesis often results in a sequence of ones that is easier to articulate. It is common to hear metathesis in the speech of children who often cannot pronounce all the consonant sequences that adults can. For example, some English-speaking children pronounce spaghetti as spaghetti. In this form, the initial sequence spa, which is often difficult for children to pronounce, is metathesized to pass. The next one is strengthening or partition. Strengthening is a phonological process in which a sound is made stronger. For example, aspiration is where voiceless stops become aspirated when they occur at the beginning of a stressed syllable. The top is set with an H. And the next one is weakening or lineation. Weakening is a phonological process in which a sound becomes weaker. For example, flapping is a phonological process of weakening whereby the voiceless alveolar stop consonant phoneme th is pronounced as voiced alveolar flap rh, like in the word kitty. This usually happens before a stressed vowel and before an unstressed vowel, where the sound is pronounced with articulation resembling a flap.
Okay. Next is about characteristic will be present by neither.
Okay, thank you, Salma. The next slide. In general, phonological rules start with the underlying representation of a sound, the phoneme that is restored in the speaker mind, and yield the final surface from, or what the speaker actually pronounced. The following characteristic that all phonological rules have in common is 1. Language specificity. A phonological rule that is present in the one language may not be present in another language, or even in all dialect or a given language. The second is productivity. The phonological rules apply even to new words. For example, if an English speaker is asked to pronounce the plural of the nonsense word books, they pronounce the final S and a C, not the S, even though they have never used the word before. On talk and unconscious, speakers apply this rule without being aware of it, and they acquire the rules early in life without any explicit teaching. And the last one is the rule gives speaker instruction about what word all will format all acceptable. If a speaker heard a word that does not come from to the language phonological rule, the word will sound foreign or ill format. Okay, next please. Okay, the next is function. In starting phonological rules, it is necessary to refer to classes of phoneme. Consider part of the rule for the information of the plural in the English. There is an extra vowel in the suffix if the word and the same sound of occur at the end of horse, mass, fish, rope, church, or judge. The function of phonological rules in the grammar is to provide the phonetic information necessary for the pronunciation of utterance.
Okay, so this is our reference. I think that's all from our group. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.